Hey, what's up, Street Talk? This is Eric from the Eric from Street Photography blog. So, finally had the chance to look through some pictures and just want to talk to you guys about, essentially how to make better photos. So, I think in photography, the ultimate goal is for us to make better photos, photos that impact us, photos that kind of stick with us for a long time. And I know that for me personally, I've discovered that the best photos are the ones which you have a personal connection with. So, for example, whenever it comes to shooting pictures, you kind of have to enjoy yourself and you need to be bold. You need to get close. You need to not hesitate. And depending on who you are as a photographer, there's going to be so many different types of subject matter which technically interest you. And I know for myself, I generally keep finding myself coming back and back to street photography. Why street photography? Because street photography is something that I'm drawn to because I'm generally drawn to humanity. I kind of see my photography as a combination of social commentary, social critique, and I just personally like the aesthetics of it. I like the way it makes me feel. I like the people I interact with and I photograph, and I just wanted to just kind of off the top of my head share some practical ideas on essentially how you could make better photographs and have the courage to shoot or whatever. So one of the first things I would recommend is when you're shooting, get close, get into the action. So for example, this is a picture that I shot where I'm just walking into the crowd and I'm shooting this with a film like MP, a 35 millimeter Kodak Portrait 400. I think I was at f8 down with shutter speed walking down Broadway in downtown LA. And out of nowhere, there's this huge kind of flash mob of, I don't know, streetwear people or whatever. And I think what makes this shot quite strong is this man's hand gesture and the fact that I'm close. You can't really see the faces. And I think this is what people need to understand in street photography. If you want to make better photos, you have to get closer. You need to be bold. You need to be aggressive. And ultimately, at worst, you might just slightly annoy somebody in street photography. Also, just realize that sometimes the best photo opportunities are in the most unlikely situations. So, for example, here I'm in Detroit, and this is also one of the benefits of just having small point and shoot cameras in your pocket. So, I had at the time film Context T3, it's a little small point and shoot, and saw this woman at the gas station in Detroit. I loved her look, and I complimented her, and I just asked if I could make a portrait of her. She said, "Yeah, sure." Used a flash and made a few photos of it. And I just kind of like this photo because I like the look, I like the intensity, and actually reminds me of when I used to live in Michigan. Also, what I realize is if you want to make better photos, enter places that are interesting to you, but you might be a little bit hesitant to enter. So, for example, this is a photograph I shot at a random dive bar in Tustin, California. And on the outside, there's like this big American flag. And I was just kind of curious, what is it going to look like inside? And so I walked in and saw this woman with, a bikini, which is kind of an interesting look. So looking at this type of image, I first saw her at the bar, and then I was a little bit nervous, but I thought, oh, can I make a photo of her? Oh, I'm being nervous, and so essentially, I started chatting with her, and I'm like, oh, I love your look, I love your tattoos. Which one is your favorite? Is that Lilo and Stitch? And then she's like, yeah, no, it's something else. And so generally, I was a little bit nervous to talk to her and interact with her, but sometimes one of the best things to do is fake it till you make it. So I saw her that I wanted to photograph her, and I just asked just leading questions. For example, like, oh, which one's your favorite tattoo? It's like, oh, this is my favorite one. Oh, can you just point it and can I make a few photos of you? And say, yeah, sure. And using a flash indoors obviously increases the image power, and using a flash is probably one of the best strategies I have in terms of making more potent images. Okay, to resume. So, and also one thing that's a better way to make better images is, obviously find people that you like, you find attractive, and you find interesting. And while talking to them, crack some jokes, interact with them. In this photograph, I think I made some stupid joke, I don't even remember, but saw this nice girl in downtown LA, liked her, compliment her style. And there was actually a USPS truck, and so you kind of see the American colors of the blue, red, and white, which I quite like. And I was complimenting maybe her on her eyeshadow or something like that. And essentially she did this kind of hand gesture and she smiled, great smile. And I feel like this is what often makes a better portrait of somebody is not just the obvious one, them just staring at the camera, but you kind of capture a gesture or some sort of interaction or some sort of saying. And so, I might have taken maybe 5 or 10 photos, and I think this one came out the best. And also, when it comes to photography, don't be afraid to interact with your subjects. I think there's this strange notion that, oh, photography is sacred and you're not allowed to talk to your subjects, interact with them, blah, blah. So this picture, actually, I met this guy in the mission, and super interesting dude. And I was chatting with him and talking about his tattoos or something. And I asked him, like, oh, which one are your favorite tattoos? Oh, I have the Superman tattoo on my back. And I'm like, oh, what is that about? Can you show it to me? He's like, yeah, sure. He just takes off his shirt. And there's also this nice mural in the background, so I asked him to stand next to it and made a bunch of pictures. And so once again, sometimes interacting with your subjects can make for much more interesting photographs. And also some other tips in street photography. Just kind of think about like what kind of social commentary you're trying to make. So for example, met this super cute little girl, she's African American. You got the white ass Barbie doll, and I think this is a good of kind of a good trend. We see more, different ethnic, quote unquote, ethnic Barbies out there, which is kind of cool, but just kind of makes you wonder, it's like, why does she want this one? And it's okay to post people, to interact with them and tell them what to do. So met this guy here, not quite sure what his story is, but I think he was wearing some sort of Jesus cross, and I said, "Oh, can I get a photo of you just looking up and pretend like you're praying or something like that?" And yeah, there's a 10 trillion different ways to photograph better and interact better and stuff like that. But generally, my biggest suggestion is photograph what you love, photograph things that interest you, and ultimately don't care too much about what other people will think. Just kind of have fun with it. Photograph more people you consider beautiful, and let your own genuine personality shine through. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Peace out.